Now, the next topic is logarithmic decrement. The logarithmic decrement is for underdamped system. We know this is the nature of the curve which we get for the underdamped system, and this is the expression for the displacement of the time. Okay. Now, what is the Fn, the frequency? Fn is equal to 1 by 2 pi omega n. Okay, this is the expression for frequency in terms of hertz, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Natural frequency.
Okay, and we also know that omega d. We also know that omega d is that is equal to root of 1 minus zeta square omega n. Okay, these two we got in this equation, we got it from the derivation of the expression for the displacement for underdamped system. Okay. Now, what is this? This is the time period. This is equal to time period. This is the time taken to complete one cycle. Okay. How did I get this? Time period, that is equal to time taken to complete one cycle. What is the frequency in terms of hertz? What do you mean by hertz? Hertz is nothing but cycle per second. Okay. Inverse of cycles per second will give you the second per cycle. That is time taken per cycle. So time period T is equal to 1 by Fn. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
F is the natural frequency in terms of hertz, that is cycles per second, and inverse of frequency is time period, that is second per cycle. Okay, so whereas in the underdamped system we have omega d. Okay, omega d is the damped natural frequency, that is equal to root of 1 minus zeta square omega n. So T is equal to 1 by Fd. Okay, that is equal to or Fd is equal to 1 by 2 pi omega d. That is equal to 1 by 2 pi. What is omega d? It is root of 1 minus zeta square omega n. So if I substitute this Fd here, so P is equal to 1 by root of 1 minus zeta square omega n that divided by 2 pi, that is equal to 2 pi by root of 1 minus zeta square omega. This is the time period T, the same which I have written here. Okay, is it clear? The time taken for one cycle is 2 pi by root of 1 minus zeta square omega n. This is the time period. Okay, that is what I have written here. Any doubt? Any doubt? So from here, what I can write is, this is the x-axis is time t. So here I can say this is EA, that is time taken to reach point A, and this is EB, the time taken to reach point B. Okay. So from figure, we can write EB minus EA, that is equal to 2 pi by root of 1 minus zeta square omega n. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Time take.
Okay. And from the expression for x, okay, from the expression, so that is, this is the expression. So from this expression, here, this is amplitude, okay, and this is direction. Okay. So x is the actual position or displacement of the vibrating system after some time t. Okay, so this x naught by root of 1 zeta square into e power minus zeta omega n t will give the amplitude, whereas this sine function will give the direction. Okay, so from figure, from the expression, what I can say is the amplitude is, can I call this as XA, that is amplitude after some time TA, and this is the amplitude after some time TB, so that is XB. Is it clear? XA is the amplitude at time TA and XB is the amplitude at time TB. Okay, but those two are not same. Doubt? Any doubt?
No, sir.
So, from the expression, x is equal to x naught by root 1 minus zeta square and e power minus zeta omega n t. So x naught divided by root of 1 minus zeta square into e power minus zeta omega n t. Right? Therefore, XA is equal to x naught that divided by 1 minus zeta square e power minus zeta omega n TA. Is it okay? Here I can write TA. And XB is equal to x naught by root of 1 minus zeta square e power minus zeta omega n TB. Did you understood this? XA is the amplitude after some time TA. XB is the amplitude after some time TB. You can now divide one by the other. That is XA by XB. What happens if I divide XA by XB? XA is x naught divided by root of 1 minus zeta square omega n, that multiplied by e power minus zeta omega n TA, that divided by x naught by root of 1 minus zeta square omega n into e power minus zeta omega n TB. Here these two will get cancelled. So XA by XB is equal to e power minus zeta omega n CA divided by e power minus beta omega n CB. And we can bring this to the numerator. Therefore, XA by XB is equal to e power minus beta omega n CA plus beta omega n CB, or XA by XB is equal to e power beta omega n multiplied by CB minus CA. Is it clear? Any doubt? Is it clear? XA by XB is the ratio of two successive amplitudes. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Anda. Vikram. But CB minus CA is 2 pi by root of 1 minus beta square omega n. Right? So I substitute this here. Therefore, XA by XB is equal to e power beta omega n multiplied by 2 pi by root of 1 minus beta square omega n. Here omega n will get cancelled. So A by XB is equal to e power 2 pi beta that divided by root of 1 minus beta square. Okay. So can I send this e to the left hand side?
Yes, sir. It will become log.
It will become ln. And x beta is equal to 2 pi beta divided by the root of 1 minus beta square. Okay, and we call this as delta. That is equal to ln of XA by XB, that is equal to 2 pi beta by root of 1 minus beta square, where delta is logarithmic decrement. Okay, and it is denoted by delta. And this equation is for two successive amplitudes. Okay. If you want the logarithmic decrement between the first and fourth, if you want to know logarithmic decrement between the first and fourth, it can be obtained by delta is equal to ln of x0, that is the first one, x0, x1, x2, x3, that is, this is x0, x1, x2, x3, so x0 by x3 multiplied by 1 by 3. Or in a general way, you can say delta is equal to 1 by n ln of x0 by xn. Okay. So this is the general form for logarithmic decrement. Okay. So let us solve a problem. Let's solve a problem. The disk of torsional pendulum has a moment of inertia of 600 kg centimeter square and is immersed in a viscous fluid. Okay. The brass shaft attached to it is of 10 centimeter diameter and 40 centimeter long. When the pendulum is vibrating, the observed amplitudes on the same side of the rest position for successive cycles are 9 degree, 6 degree and 4 degree. Determine number 1, logarithmic decrement. Number 2, damping torque at unit velocity. Number 3, the periodic time of vibration, and also assume G is equal to 4.4 into 10 power square for brass. And number 4, what would be the frequency if the disc is removed from this fluid, from the viscous fluid? Okay, we need to find all these things. So now here there is a disc of torsional pendulum, so we can write this text like this. So this is a disc. This is a disc which is having a mass moment of inertia of J. That is, J is equal to how much? 600
100
kg centimeter square, which is connected or which is fully suspended with the help of a brass shaft of diameter D 10 centimeter and length of 40 centimeter. Okay, and it is immersed in a viscous fluid. It is immersed in a viscous fluid. Have you understood the question? Okay, it is immersed in a fluid and this disk has been given with some initial displacement, that is initial rotation. Okay, if I give the after giving the initial rotation and leaving it, this has started to oscillate or rotate in both clockwise and anti-clockwise direction before it coming into the rest. So, if I observe the amplitude of vibration on the same side, it is 9 degree in the first cycle, 6 degree in the second cycle, and 4 degree in the third cycle. Okay, what I can write is, if I write the graph, this is time t, and this is the, what is the x-axis? What is y-axis here? What is y-axis?
Degrees, sir.
It is a displacement or a rotation here, it is degree theta. So for the first cycle, the maximum amplitude was 9, and for the second cycle, the maximum amplitude was 6, and for the third cycle, the maximum amplitude was 4. Okay, this is 9 degree, and this is 6 degree, and this is 4 degree. Okay. Any doubt with the question? Any doubt with the question?
Sir.
So first, we need to find out the logarithmic decrement. Okay, number one, logarithmic decrement. This is logarithmic decrement is given by delta, that is equal to ln of xa by xb, or ln of theta a by theta b, or ln of theta 1 by theta 2. So delta is equal to ln of, what is theta 1? Theta 1, 9 degree. Theta 2 is
6 degree.
6 degree. So ln of 9 by 6. That is the logarithmic decrement. So what is ln of 9 by 6?
0.405. 0.405, sir.
That is 0.405 is the logarithmic decrement. Okay, what is the second one? What do we need to find? Damping torque at unit velocity. What is this damping torque? What do you mean by damping torque?
Sir, no need to find the
Damping
log
torque is what is-
of second and third one, sir. Like
to
6.
find second and third, it will be same. You need to find that, because if you keep on finding the what is for second and third
Same we are getting.
by
0.40.
4, line of answer, you get the same. You will get the same because this is an exponential curve. This is an exponential curve. That is, if you look at this here, in the first equation, here in this equation, see, for a given vibrating system, x naught by root of 1 minus zeta square is constant, right? X naught is the initial displacement, and zeta is the damping ratio. Okay, these two will not change with respect to time. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And here, zeta and omega n will not change with respect to time.
Yes, sir.
But only, so t varies exponentially. Or
Yes.
you can say the rest of the things, the x varies with respect to time exponentially.
Yes, sir.
The displacement x varies with respect to time exponentially. So this is an exponential curve. So if you find the logarithmic decrement for another successive amplitudes, you will get the same logarithmic decrement. Okay, second one, we need to find out the damping torque. What is this damping torque? Damping torque per velocity. For this, we need to go back to the previous class slide. So what is it? C? C is the damping coefficient. Cx dot is the damping force. Damping force. What is the unit of damping force? For the damping coefficient, it is Newton second per meter. So damping force per unit velocity is nothing but
Newton.
C. We need to find out C. Okay, we need to find out the damping coefficient. Okay, we need to find out the C. So how to find the value of C? See, C is equal to what? What is C? Or C zeta is equal to C by Cc, right?
Yes, sir.
Zeta is equal to C by Cc, or C is equal to zeta into Cc, and Cc is equal to 2 root Km. This we have seen in the last class, right?
Yes,
2
sir.
root Km. This is for linear system. For rotary system, Cc will become 2 root Kt J. K is the linear stiffness and Kt is the torsional stiffness, and M is the mass and J is the mass moment of inertia. For linear K and M. For rotary, Kt and J. So Cc is 2 root Kt J. So C is equal to 2 zeta root of Kt J. Now, to find the value of C, I need to find zeta and Kt. And J is given in the question. Right?
Yes, sir.
So, how to get the value of zeta? We know that, see here, in the damping, logarithmic decrement, see here, delta is equal to 2 pi zeta by root of 1 minus zeta square. So, delta is equal to 2 pi zeta by root of 1 minus zeta square. See, you need to remember these equations. So, we know the value of delta, and zeta is the only unknown here. So, it is 0.405, that is equal to 2 pi zeta divided by root of 1 minus zeta. Okay. So, zeta is equal to what is the value of zeta now? Pi square on both sides, it is 0.405 square that multiplied by 1 minus zeta square, that is equal to 4 pi square zeta square. Okay. Or
0.1, sir, zeta.
oh, no. No, it is not 0.1. What is the value of zeta?
Point 0.06.
Delta square, that is delta square minus delta square zeta square is equal to 4 pi zeta square, or delta square is equal to 4 pi zeta square plus zeta square delta square, that is equal to 4 pi square, 4 pi square plus delta square multiplied by zeta square, or zeta square is equal to delta square divided by 4 pi square plus zeta square, or zeta is equal to root of delta square is delta divided by root of 4 pi square plus delta square, that is 0.405, that divided by root of 4 pi square plus 0.405. So answer is that is 0.064. This is zeta. Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
we need to know the value of zeta and kt. So now what is kt? We need to know the value of kt. Kt is the torsional stiffness. Okay, kt is the torsional stiffness. Okay, torsional stiffness is nothing but force required for the unit rotation. Okay, what is the force?
Newton.
Or torque required for unit degree of rotation. Okay, that is Newton meter is the torque per degree or radian. Okay, I need this. Okay, and for that we know that the torsion equation. What is the torsion equation? Mt by J, that is equal to tau by R, that is equal to G theta by L.
Sir, K unit is Newton per meter or Newton meter, sir.
See here, you think about torsional stiffness. We are talking about torsional stiffness. K is the linear stiffness, that is force per unit length, and KT is the torsional stiffness, that is torque per unit angle. Torque is nothing but Newton meter, and angle is in radians. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So torque per unit angle is equal to KT or MT by theta. So from this equation, by considering the first and last term, m